Take a deep breath and imagine a world exactly 100 years ago. This was the 1920s, a time without the internet or mobile phones. But in the silent shadows of those streets, mysterious eyes were always watching. These weren't the pampered pets sleeping on soft beds like we see today. They were the silent soldiers of a bygone era. In 1926, a cat wasn't judged by how cute it looked in a photo, but by its bravery and how many pests it could hunt in a single night to protect the food supply. Life back then was raw and tough, and these cats were just as resilient and fearless. They had a real job to do. In massive factories, busy mills, and giant grain warehouses, thousands of tons of food were constantly at risk from rats, and the only solution was the mill cat. These cats were much leaner and more muscular than our modern house cats. Their faces were sharper, and their bodies were built for speed, allowing them to sprint through narrow factory pipes and heavy machinery. They didn't have gourmet canned food. They survived on what they hunted, and this constant work turned them into elite feline athletes. But their journey didn't stop on land. These cats were also the queens of the high seas. Back then, it was essential for every large ship to have a ship cat. These brave felines traveled thousands of miles across the deep blue ocean, standing fearless on the deck, even during the most violent storms. They saved the sailors' rations and became legendary companions of the sea. So ask yourself, does the cat sleeping on your sofa today have any idea about the heroic ancestors it came from? As the world moved forward from the dusty factories of the 1920s into the glamorous era of the 1950s, a massive, silent revolution was taking place in the feline world. The silent soldiers were finally coming inside. For the first time in history, cats were no longer just workers. They were becoming the true stars of the modern household. This was the golden birth of the house cat as we know it today. People began to fall in love with their elegance and grace, rather than their hunting skills. The rise of the middle class changed everything. Suddenly, families had spare time and beautiful homes, and they wanted a companion to share them with. This led to a boom in selective breeding. Imagine the transformation. The lean, scarred, and muscular bodies of the old mill cats were replaced by softer, rounder shapes and luxurious, silk-like fur. Breeders began to focus purely on aesthetics, leading to the rise of exotic breeds like the fluffy, flat-faced Persian and the sleek, vocal Siamese that captured the hearts of Hollywood stars. But it wasn't just their looks that changed. It was their entire lifestyle. This was the era when the first commercial cat foods hit the shelves. Cats transitioned from hunting tough rats in cold alleyways to enjoying prepared meals on ceramic plates. They moved from the foggy, dangerous docks of the Atlantic to the sun-drenched, carpeted living rooms of high society. However, this luxury came with a hidden price. As they became more pampered and protected, their wild, primal instincts began to soften. Their ears became less alert to the sounds of the hunt, and more tuned to the sound of a kitchen cabinet opening. They were no longer just survivors of the streets. They had become the ultimate icons of domestic bliss and luxury. But little did they know, the most radical change in their physical appearance was yet to come with the arrival of modern science. So, we've seen the journey from the tough, muscular, silent soldiers of the 1920s to the pampered, fluffy queens of the 1950s, and finally to the high-tech, exotic beauties of today. In just 100 years, the cat has transformed from a hunter into a digital icon. But no matter how much their fur changes or how their faces evolve, their wild spirit remains the same. They are the silent witnesses of our history. Which era of cats did you like the most? The brave workers or the royal pets? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to see how the king of the jungle, the tiger, has changed in the last century, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This is Wild Rewind, where the past meets the present. See you in the next journey.